Hello, you're welcome to a new episode of the Fixers Show. I am so elated that you could join me today. This particular episode was supposed to come on last week, I think, but my guest was in limbo. So today we're going to have this particular episode entitled Dealing with Stress and the battle for mental stability for women in ministry. Please share the broadcast. Share. Tag every woman in ministry that you know. We are going to be discussing some very, very pertinent issues, some very, very important and salient issues that affect women in ministry. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing my lives, for sharing my videos. Thank you for commenting, for liking, for watching. It's always a privilege to come on live and know that there'll always be somebody watching. I thank you so much. My name is Deborah Dodoche, aka The Fixer, and I'm streaming live from Accra, Ghana, the city where God lives. Thank you so much. Very soon my guest will be joining me. And the topic we'll be discussing today is so important because it borders on stress. And stress is something that happens all the time to almost everybody. It's a universal problem. There's nobody that is not subject to some level of stress at one time or another in their life. So if you're watching me live, type in the comment section #live. And if you're going to be watching this as a replay, tag #replay. And thank you so much. I want you to share the broadcast. When you join, let me know where you're watching me from. Comment, like, share your thoughts, whatever it is that you want us to discuss about. If you have whatever it is you want to talk, so just send it in the comment section. If you're watching us from YouTube, let us know if you are watching us from the YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very grateful that you could join. Like I said earlier, today we are going to be talking about dealing with stress, handling stress, and the battle for mental stability for women in ministry. So if you are a woman in ministry, this is certainly going to bless you. This is certainly going to give you some strategies, some hacks that you could apply to your own personal life to maintain mental stability. And my guest on the show today, she's a co-fixer. Her name is Angwi Rose Tabi, all the way from Cameroon. She'll be joining us and we'll be discussing this particular episode together. I have so many things we want to talk about. I have my notes all filled up, and I know that we are going to have a very, very, very fruitful discussion. So if you are a woman of God out there, please join. Let me know where you're watching me from. Just write it in the comment section if you're watching from Cameroon, from America. Wow, greetings, woman of God. Yeah, you didn't tell me your name. You're welcome. I'm so happy you could join me. Thank you so very, very, very much. I'm still waiting for my guest Rose to join in, but just to say a bit about it, I'm also a woman of God. So this particular episode is also important to me because some of the things that we are going to be discussing are some of the things that I also am going to be applying in my own personal life as a minister of the gospel and as a woman in ministry. Like I said earlier, there was a time I did a discussion or I did some research and I discovered that women are prone to stress because of their psychological or physiological makeup. So at every time, like at every point in a woman's life, she's prone to stress. She can go into stress, labor, childbirth, parenting, motherhood. All those things that a woman goes through in the course of her life can cause her to go into stress and mental instability. And one of the reasons why it is a lot easier for women to handle stress is because women always talk about their issues, always talk about their situations and whatever it is that they are going through. Unlike our men folk who always keep whatever it is they are going inside. Oh, you're watching from London. Wow. I love that. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very glad you could join me. So we are talking about dealing with stress, especially we'll be discussing specifically today women in ministry. Let me see. I'm sure my guests should be coming in any moment from now. so that we can start this discussion. So if you join me, just share, just tag every woman of God that you know. Tag. Let them come online so that we can have this discussion together. And even if you have a question, just put it in the comment section so that we could discuss it. When the guests come, we could also pick up some 1 or 2 questions and also have the privilege of talking and answering questions from those who are watching us, because there are a lot of people that are battling with stress, they're battling with anxiety, and they're battling with depression, and they are not able to handle it because sometimes it can really be very, very, very overwhelming for some people to handle that. And because it is overwhelming, it kind of escalates. But where I usually have a worry, it's because stress, anxiety, and depression leads to underlying health issues like high blood pressure. That's one of them. And high blood pressure, when it gets to a certain level, the person can either have a stroke or also have a heart attack. And all those are some of the things that are caused by stress that is accumulated, or anxiety or depression. So at every point that we have the opportunity to discuss such issues, I'm always in for it, because I receive a lot of feedback, even in my counseling sessions, in my therapy sessions, with some of the people that reach out to me who are they're in business, they're in politics, they're in ministry, and in different facets of life. I still get that there is this one thing that goes through, that nobody is immune to stress. Yes, the only difference is some people handle it better than some other people handle it. But at some point in our lives, we go through stress. And another thing I've noticed is that if the stress or the anxiety is not well handled, it can linger. And once it begins to linger, it begins to affect other aspects and facets of the life of the person. And especially for women, it can really manifest itself in different forms. I speak from experience, like somebody who has survived postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. It begins to manifest itself in different levels, which, if not capped at a certain level, it can go out of hand and the person goes out of the tangent. It's not funny, but that is how it is. And that is the reality of the life that we are living. And most often than not, with what is going through, the economic meltdown and all the situations that people are going through at this particular moment, it is very, very possible for somebody to easily be thrown into stress, depression, and anxiety. There's this fear that grips the person. There is this fear of the unknown, that what am I going to do? How am I going to feed my children? What if I lose my job? How will I be able to pay my rent? How will I be able to cater for my bills and all these things? I have student loans. I have a car loan to pay. I have a mortgage to pay. All that becomes accumulative. People begin to think, they begin to fear, they begin to wonder whether they'll be able to cope with life as it is. So that is already a stress on its own. But there is a way. I know today with my guest, we are going to be handling that. How a woman of God can navigate and bring a balance, because everything is about balance. How you balance it, how you balance your life in such a way that it moves in a particular direction, in a particular way that does not affect you mentally. That's very important, because everything that the stress does, it breaks you mentally. And once a person is broken down mentally, the person cannot really be able to effectively do a lot of things. So I have my guests in. Let me bring her to the studio. Where is my beautiful Sissy? You're welcome, woman of God.
Thank you, Fixer Sister.
It's so good to have you. Yes, so my co-fixer on point, on fleek. You're welcome. I've already introduced the program. So I've already introduced the program, and now we are going to go straight into our discussion. So we are going to go straight into our discussion. And one of the things I want us to talk about, like the topic is dealing with stress and the battle for mental stability for women in ministry. And I know this particular topic is important for both of us because both of us are women in ministry.
Yep.
And being women in ministry, we have not similar struggles. The struggles are the same. And I know that these same struggles, they pertain to other women in ministry as well. So I know and I believe that this particular episode is going to be very, very beneficial to women in ministry. So that said, let me ask the first question. This is a foundation. Is it true that women in ministry go through stress? Let's establish that for a fact. So is it true?
Yes, it is true. It is 100% true. History in itself is stressful, so definitely women will be stressed. It is true, but I think in the long run we'll discuss about the peculiarity of the stress space in ministry. But definitely, it's
okay.
No, like,
it's true. So that we have established the ground rule that women in ministry go through stress. Oh, she's gone on.
Sure. They do. Sure.
Women ministers go through stress in ministry. It is impossible to live in a world without stress. We have established that. So now I'm going to divide ministers of the gospel or women ministers into two facets. We are going to talk about those who are actually general overseers. That means they are heading ministries. And I'm also going to talk about those women who support their husbands in ministry as well. Then we also have women who are in the choir, in the choir administration. We also have women who are in hospitality, ushers, decoration. All of those people are in ministry. So let me ask my first question. Which of this group of women have a higher stress rate, and why is it? And why is that?
GOs. The mommy GOs.
Okay,
Yes. Women heading ministries. Yes, they
have a higher
stress. That's for me.
Okay, women heading ministries. Okay. They will okay. Because they are the ones taking the pressure directly. Unlike a woman who is a woman pastor, or she's a mommy pastor, or in Ghana they say also for mommy, she's supporting her husband. So her husband gets to receive the bulk of the stress in ministry. She just gets to support the man. But with the women GOs or the mommy GOs that actually head ministries, they are burdened with the running of the day-to-day ministry. Yes, they are in
the forefront.
Not only that, they are at the forefront. Yeah. Okay, they are at the forefront. Okay, so one of the things I want to know is, let's ask, so what causes them, the women in ministry, to go into stress in the first place? What do you think are some of the causes why they will go into stress?
Firstly, nature. We are the weaker vessel, okay? We are emotional, and we have a different way we respond to stress. And so even as a woman in ministry, having to carry out functions, multiple functions at the same time, exercising authority, and handling those our biological seasons, those periods when we are one kind. Yeah, we have that aspect of our stress. And the other thing which I see as a source of, we have aspects of an identity crisis as women.
Okay.
Yes, personally, I will still look at it this way now, especially pastoral. I'm not trying to. I will always come down to the gender bias, gender issue, and there are. It's largely a man's world, largely. And when a woman single-handedly breaks through, especially in the pastoral ministry, and she's in the forefront, that brings in a whole dynamism. It brings in a whole different dynamism. I look at the I look at the Mami Funkes, I look at women, you know, in the forefront, and there's a whole different dynamism as far as. And I've had the pain of watching how the fact that they're broken through that they tend to be they tend to be the criticism, it's higher. The desire, the need to outperform too more in order not to be disproved. Now,
perform.
Yes, let me give this little example. I got a male colleague. They will look at me, for instance, I'll look at you and say, okay, do you want small time or just start crying? There's this mindset, there's this thinking that okay, much you can carry as a woman. And so in order to up with all this, it takes women, especially those in the front line, 2-3 times much more work. And so we have that identity crisis in the ministry aspect to deal with. Not losing your womanness, yet maintaining the fact that you are a frontline, you're born to carry, you're born to. So yes, we have that identity crisis, which can be a we equally have this aspect of balancing our multiple roles.
Yeah.
Being a woman as married, it's you have to be mommy GO. You've got all that to put together. I mean, it gets even tougher if you're still in the early stage in your life where you're still giving birth, you still have to bring up children. Self has a direct impact even on the input of your ministry as a woman, especially if you're a frontline. That's supposed to be reproducing and yes, but society is not going to be sympathetic towards you. For most of my mates, my friends, and my sister, my faith, or in ministry, the moment they enter that period of giving birth, they wait, you don't start the wine of the finish, and we will start that. But please, can you pregnancy may carry a go feet? Your feet. I said, if you want belly, this one belly. I said she has just done the right thing to withdraw and finish off with, and she's going to bounce back. The fact that she's putting to bed does not cancel the of the work of her life. It doesn't. She just manages seasons differently from whoever she's in ministry. If she fails, or source of criticism. So the wise woman in ministry who is even a frontline understands her seasons. She gets, she has to understand that. But then now it's stress because balancing the desire, the need for to do stuff you have to do and to maintain your home. Yeah, the things I can raise as yes. For now, as we keep talking, I'm sure the others will. Yeah.
Okay, so, and I think another thing that causes stress is that, like you mentioned, you said something, I think, that because there is this pressure to want to deliver, there is this pressure to want to prove yourself that you are able to do it. So there is what can trigger stress. I think one of the things is the fear of failure. She doesn't want to fail. So she would have to do everything in
Mm-hmm.
her power to prove that she's included. She can run the ministry, she can do the work. People think that women cannot do. So one of the things that would cause her to be a woman of God to be stressed up, a woman in ministry to be stressed up, is a fear of failure. Another thing is incompetence. You know, there are times when there is a difference between the giftings and the character. You have the giftings of the spirit and you have the fruit of the spirit. So we have some women in ministry that
Sure.
operate in the gift of the spirit, but they don't have the attitude to carry along that. And when people begin to point
I
out some of the things that they are doing that is quote unquote not right, there's this feedback, there's this fight within you trying to prove that you are competent. So it would lead some women
I
into having a low self-esteem. I have worked with
definitely.
women ministers, and I
Mm-hmm.
would say this with so much alacrity, that they are one of the most difficult people to work with, women in ministry, especially GOs. I'm saying this with all authority because I have worked with them. And I think that some of the things stems from insecurity.
Let
They
me
are not
interject at
secured.
this point.
Some of them have
Yes,
self-esteem issues.
yes.
Okay.
Let me interject at this point too. I'm so pro woman that I always sides. I definitely agree that for a woman to function at that level, especially in the front line, it's the fact that ministry happens at other levels.
Mm-hmm.
We have support ministries like those you mentioned in the they don't need to be the front line. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have to, no. It comes down again to our nature. Just like we are we are sympathetic about the ego of our men. We
Mm-hmm.
sympathetic. We say, okay, guys, ego is so. Now a lady better women a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain level where lady is when she gets to that point where she's under pressure or the
Mm-hmm.
tendency to be reactive, the tendency to be is there. And I will speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am not excusing you, but I'm giving us a background from where it comes from. And it might
Mm-hmm.
this one is more about working on your stamina. We are getting to mention how we are going to have to manage to work on our stamina, so to portray that bad side of our nature because we are under pressure. But I tell you, already the challenge of being up there, the forefront. Now, Fixer Sister, do you know that the challenges women in ministry face is the fact that we have a whole lot of people who don't even believe that it is biblical for any woman to be
Mm-hmm.
in the forefront ministerially.
Mm-hmm.
We have that.
Mm-hmm.
We have
I
a lot
know
of
that.
that to deal with. We have added, yes, we
Mm-hmm.
have added so added hierarchically, who are so. I am for biblical
Mm-hmm.
eldership of our men. I am for biblical headship. I am for people.
Okay, my guest just went off. So, like we were saying, like I said, that one of the most difficult people I have worked with in ministry are women. And for whatever reason, or for whatever be the reason, but I believe that when a woman is working with a woman, it's for the benefit of the woman.
Yeah.
I don't know about other women. I don't know about other women, but every time I am working with a woman to support a woman in ministry, I am not in competition with that woman. I am not coming from a place of trying to take your
Exactly.
place. I am coming as a support. but I shouldn't be coming as a support, then intend being a competitor, because that's not the role. Because some of us are vision refiners. I'm a vision interpreter.
Sure.
When you have a vision, I'm a woman who would help you interpret it, and I will help you expand it. I will help you, give you clarity. So I am not that woman that would want to say that I want to get your place. So I feel that that's probably one of the reasons: insecurity, low self-esteem. And I think another reason is why women get pressured or under stress is the feeling of being unappreciated. Like they feel they are being used, they are not being cared for. And especially when you're working with men, you feel there is this cloak of betrayal, that is hanging around. Like the people are going to betray you, the people are going to leave you. So you are walking in uncertainty. You are not sure that I don't know. There is this fear of the unknown that just seems to linger around you, and it kind of hypes you. So the moment somebody comes close to want to even help, you think that the person is trying to get what belongs to you, and I think that's a stressor.
It's a too much stressor, and I agree with you on that. Just like you, I determined at a point in time. I determined that I said I'm pro woman.
Mm.
I champion the cause of women. You and I are co-fixers in the first place, right?
Okay.
And so
Yes.
I get that's a that I am pro woman. I am meant to function with my kind. I am not meant to implement my male counterparts. I am meant to support my kind. And to be told, we've had that. We definitely have that issue of security among us, even as women. And one of the ways I've tried to is doing everything in my capacity to reassure my. I like just like you. I am an enhancer. I tend to see all the details. I see the big picture. Give me your idea. Fix it. I'm not here to collect your idea. It's not my fault that the Lord has given me, endowed me with all what He has endowed me with. It's for me to support you. It's for me to support. And over the years, I've learned to take the position of a mother raising us, equally as a daughter under the older women. Even if it has helped me to be able to mitigate of insecurity. I tell you, women go through so much, and then we are frivolous. We definitely are frivolous. Work with them, for me to work with men, that's for me to work with men. It definitely is. Guys are going powerful, helpful lady like you. They will love to work with you. Temperamental wise, there's no guy who will be to work with me and have me on their team. But in that one, it has its disadvantages so much. So many disadvantages you get. So, like you rightly said, we need to be support system. Sister, if I come, I'm not coming to compete with you.
Support.
I'm your support.
That's it.
If you don't support,
so people
will.
Yes. That's what I'm saying, that some of these issues, they make women to go into stress unnecessarily, because you are trying to fight, you are trying to compete, you are trying to compare yourself with others. I am a firm believer that everybody has a journey. Everybody has our own journey cut out for he or she. You are a pastor, I'm a pastor, but we have two different journeys, and where we are going to go to. We can intersect at a certain point, but we may not end at a certain point. So that has to give you comfort that it is not that. So another thing is, like we talked about insecurities. Some of them are that cause stress is because women are insecure. They have self-esteem issues. Another thing is they are trying they have this I know all mentality. If you're a woman in ministry who is a GO, you can't know it all. You know, you have to get to a point where you have to reach out to other people, because the work, you can't do the work alone. That's for sure. You understand? You have to be able to let yourself go. You have to be able to be able to delegate, give out, share yourself, let people know that they can actually work, because there are some women you can't work with them because it's so difficult. Yes, I understand that ministry has, yeah, I understand that ministry has stress. I understand that ministry has its own perks and everything. I don't head a ministry. My husband is the head and I just support. So I may not receive the pressure. I kind of receive the pressure, but I've learned that I am a mother or like a support. So I won't compete with women that come to the church. And I don't think I've ever quarreled with any woman that comes to the ministry, because I think it's totally uncalled for. So I have to build my capacity as a woman support to be able to accommodate. So I think that's the word, to accommodate. As a GO, you woman in GO, you have to be able to accommodate, to incubate different talents, different giftings, different visions, because God will send those kind of people to you for you to either mentor, for you to either coach them.
Yeah.
And you have to support all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's very important.
That all, yeah, or that know it all. Yes, I think that know it all is from the done, to want to prove to naysayers, to want to prove to they can also do it, and that in itself is is very negative, sinful, even to want to do stuff or carry out ministry to prove, not out of obedience to the Lord or to the Holy Spirit, but you want to prove to people that you too can do it. So with such women, or one or two of such women, the air around her is just so negative and oppressive. Such a woman is more of a control freak. I want to let this lady, she was invited to the ministry. Myself, so I got. She was given the platform to. She did. She was a prophet, saying a lot of clear pruning. She needed. And when meeting at her to try to ask more to serve and terrorize him, this as but what I can bring to you is that submit under a mentor, and being without a mentor is a problem. I'm not asking you to submit under me. I can't even mentor you. You see, I bet you if she continues like that and she's continued in that light, it's not going. So we need to work on that. We need to work on that. That aggressive, that thing is stemming from a desire to want to prove that you can. At some point, a fellow woman in ministry, you do ministry to prove to anyone you can do it. You do ministry out of response, and don't let the critics or the
me. I don't even have a problem with that issue. My issue is one of the things I've experienced is that when you come around some of the women, they try to put you down. It's like they think you know too much. So they will try to look for ways to want to downplay. I don't know how to put it, but it's always because I think that
I get.
It causes stress and your mental stability, because at every point in time you are trying to, like you say, you are trying to prove that you two are there, you two can do this or you can do that. And I believe that there's something about talent and giftings. God does not gift to everybody the same talent. The Bible says he gave gifts to men, some prophets, some teachers, some evangelists, apostles, and pastors
Yeah,
for the work of the ministry. To do what? To equip the saints, work of the ministry.
yeah,
So when God gives you people with talents and gifts that you don't have, the people come because they need to support what you, I would tell, quote and unquote, what you lack. But when these people come, you would in turn try to downplay their giftings and talents because of your insecurity. But the people coming to you is supposed to be a form of blessing to you. It's supposed to be a form of help to you to push the ministry to the next
yeah,
level. Do you get? So that is
certainly.
where I will always have an issue. You see women going through stress in ministry because they want to, I don't know how to be there. They want to be, that's not it. You would end up stressing yourself. You will end up going through very, very unhealthy emotions if you are trying to keep up
Yeah,
with that. Because the gifted men in ministry are your advantage. The gifted men are given for you
yeah,
to leverage their giftings and their talents. You can't know it all and you
mm-hmm.
can't do it all. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, what are the signs that
Okay.
a woman in ministry can look out and know that, okay, if she's going through this, it means she's under stress? Because there are some people that they may not understand or they may not know, okay, dealing with stress, does the person has to actually recognize that he or she is under
Yeah,
stress before we can even think about
yeah,
dealing with it. So what do you think are some of the
yeah.
reasons why women in ministry would go into stress? What are some of the signs? I mean, signs.
The
What should
indications.
they look?
Yeah. My, let me talk to us. All right. Number, the moment you start snapping at people around you,
Mm, mm,
irritated, being easily, you just start snapping, and when you realize, you should realize that the tone of your voice is risen, and you tend to
mm,
help others more than give others. You're beginning to lose it. It's
mm,
a sign of stress. Yeah, you're beginning to go beyond your capacity, whatever you're handling. Second thing, when you begin changes in your biological cycle, these are all things indicators.
mm, mm,
Constant
mm,
constant headache, indigestion, loss of eating,
mm,
you're under stress.
mm, mm, mm,
If For those of you who are married, if you start having resentment towards your significant other or towards your children, it's
mm,
so for pain or for tolerance, very low threshold. Any little need to transfer your aggression onto your loved
mm.
ones at home. At the moment you're coming,
Yeah.
everybody's already wanting to hide. Remain, mom is. Next thing you come in, you're beginning to see,
Mm,
why is this
mm,
dead here? Why is this here? Why? And your poor husband, all of that. You're under stress. You're under stress. When when you begin to start feeling
mm,
lethargy, sumenage, you're stuck. When you're stuck.
mm,
You feel like there's just so much to
mm,
handle, and then now you can't budge. You seem confused at exactly
mm,
what to start off with. You are stressed up. In the
mm,
middle one day, is it your baby
mm,
you're going to handle? Is it your own particular health issue you're going to, or whatever? Is it your missing your PMS, or is it your paperwork? You just stand in the middle, and there will be a point where you just
mm.
yell and shout at everybody. Yeah, that's stress. So these are the few indications I'm going to give. pertaining to we women. Yes, when you begin to feel that, especially irritable. If you go to a lot of offices where there are boss ladies, one of the things you'll find that they are so harsh. They tend to just bully everybody, quarrel with everybody. I went to one lady's office once in to go see her, one top ranking lady to go see her, and when I the moment she just came to my car, the first thing she just yelled at me, "Madam, why are you standing in front of my door?" Oh, hey, hey. I was like, oh my, she's stressed. I when she opened the office, I was
Where?
standing. I stood there the whole time. Stood, she was talking. She didn't even think of giving a seat or no. She was actually addressing me. I was standing. I was practically standing. My So I sat on a chair beside. This lady practically came and yelled at me to sit down. I was like, man, man, who is stressing you out in this place? And that was a very tea experience. I just begin to imagine how many people come to our office and that way. And the next thing we're going to hear is that women are bad bosses, cannot be good bosses. Most guys will prefer to work. If you have a woman who keeps her motherly attitude, I tell you, you will enjoy that office. But of course, women, we don't realize the stress signs and we begin to lash out and we lose it. So those are the signs you should watch out for. I
Okay.
remember, yes, I remember the first day. I remember one time on campus, I left my students who came to me with a problem. Act at that student one day. I went back and I was like, Rose, you need to take a break. Beginning to snap at people too much. You're beginning to be harsher in your methods. You used to be you used to be very orderly, but
Used
now
to
you're
be
so
calm.
harsh.
Yes.
Yeah. So I realized I was losing it. I was going to the edge. I was becoming the tyrant. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know, like what you're talking about, the feeling of being overwhelmed. You know, you have so much. You have so much on your plate that you feel like you can't take it. You are overwhelmed, and that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons. That's a sign that a woman is stressed. And another sign is you're feeling unmotivated. There are some times that you don't feel motivated, even though the work that you're doing is something that you're passionate about. But because you have gotten to a certain point, you feel unmotivated. You don't want to do it. You go into anxiety. You go into depression, insomnia. Some women, when you are a woman in ministry and you can't sleep effectively, if you can't sleep effectively, if you have insomnia, I think that's a
Yeah.
sign. Because I believe that used to happen to me. Sometimes
Yes.
I'll be
Okay.
yes, I'll work the whole night. I'll work and work and work. You see, I can't sleep. You understand? And you talked about this
Yeah.
transfer of aggression is very true. But there's also this feeling of a sign is a feeling of helplessness. You are helpless. It's like you
Yeah.
become overwhelmed, then you become helpless. It's like you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You have run out of options. So,
Exactly.
women in ministry, I want you to be taking note of these
Yeah.
signs. You are helpless. It's like, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to do this? There's this feeling of worthlessness, especially if you are not seeing
Yeah.
results. You know, especially if you are
That's
not
the
seeing results,
bad.
you are not seeing progress, and probably your friend that you
Yeah.
happen to be doing ministry with happens to be doing better, quote and unquote, or things are working for her. Oh my God, you're like, what am I not doing? What am I
I,
not doing? Are we
I
not
tell
preaching the same
you,
gospel?
it's
What does she have that
well.
I don't have? What is that? So you see some
I'm
signs, you start.
telling you.
Another sign is you start feeling this bitterness and envy and jealousy. You know that
Resentment. Resentment.
Resentment. Thank you.
Yes.
Resentment. Yes, you
That's the
feel
word,
resentment,
resentment. Mm.
irritability. You are irritated. Things that you were even passionate about, all of a sudden you just
Yeah,
lose interest. You are like, uh, you don't
yeah.
care. You know,
Mhm.
things. There are signs that you are beginning to lose it. Okay, let's talk a bit before we go into how to
Yeah.
overcome. Let's talk a bit about burnout. What happens when a woman is burnout?
Mhm. Oh my, the worst case scenario with burnout is your health breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
worst case scenario. Yes, your health actually breaking down to the point where you're
Mm-hmm.
hospital. Yes, and this happened to me
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to go to the hospital. The medics are not going to say anything wrong, but your whole system is just crashed. And the medics are just going to see that you're
Mm-hmm.
tired. They're going to give you sleeping drugs. They're going to give you antibiotics to up your
Mm-hmm.
blood and stuff like that. The doctor realized that
Mm-hmm.
I reached my burnout stage, and this was a burnout,
Mm-hmm.
constant brain headache, constant headache that will blind
Mm-hmm.
my eyes, and it will be so severe that I'll have to lost in the dark room for 3 4 days before I'll be able to. My thanks to health issues was lowered such that any little I would affect me. I was just having malaria all the time. And it was around that period that I had my first attack of pneumonia. Yes. It
Okay.
became a my immune system resistance was lowered.
No. Mm.
Of of 60% of pathology, health issues, physical health issues, they have, if you deal with stress, those things will just go away. You have that pounding
Mm.
headache,
Mm.
and
Mm.
then you will, you're gonna, when the morning comes, you're not happy. The
Mm.
a burden. You are like,
Mm.
oh,
Mm.
office again today.
Mm.
Can't be listening to all those boring people. Yes,
Mm. Mm.
you will
Mm.
turn on your bed in the morning. You will drive yourself to work.
Mm.
That's a
Mm. Mm.
serious sign of,
Wow.
yes. At that time, you remember the thing
Burnout.
which in the morning, sharp and eager to go do. You begin to find out that you are not looking forward. It comes is
Mm. Mm.
your sex
Mm.
drive drops. Your sex drive drops. Even desire for your spouse, because burnout has a way
Mm-hmm.
of causing you to lose interest in almost everything.
Mm.
Spouse is not going to
Mm.
look.
Mm.
Your spouse is going to feel like a burden to you, even because you're going to be like, on top of
Mm.
everything I'm facing, you're also a burden, and so you lose interest in
So you
your
want
sex
to
drive
bring
drops.
yourself.
You want to, yes, your appetite is affected in two ways. It's either you
Mm.
just don't eat at all, or you binge
Mm-hmm.
it. You
Okay.
binge it. You find yourself.
Mm.
It's a negative coping mechanism to the feelings of frustration, confusion, of lack of zeal.
Mm.
Yeah, you tend to tend to, yeah, to food and
Mm.
stuff like that to eat. Yes. So those are signs.
Wow.
Physically, you are weak.
Mm.
Pain, your
You're
back.
weak. Yes.
Oh, I forgot. Back pain, lower back, nerves. Your nerves are stiff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These are all signs of,
Mm.
yes. But burnout is much more psychological, because when it comes from in there, it now comes out manifest symptoms which we're talking about. So those are the symptoms of burnout.
Mm. Burnout. Okay. So now we'll be wrapping up very soon. Let's go. You know, we can say everything, but if we don't talk about how to maintain balance or talk about how to
Yeah,
maintain mental stability or how to
mental
for women to
stability.
deal with stress is going to the talk will
Ah,
not be complete. So now what are some of the strategies or some of the ways that you think women in ministry can implement or imbibe so that they can deal with stress effectively and maintain mental stability?
I just remembered one last thing that could be a solution to a lot of in the forefront or ministry.
Okay.
Their sexuality, their womanhood is a source of problem. There are people look at you and look at you as the woman. They don't see your assignment, they don't see your office. You are a man. And you
Mm,
can find a lot of people can disrespect you because they don't think
mm,
you're a woman, they should disrespect you. And it can go as far as you know, this
mm,
to you simply because you're a woman. Yeah.
mm,
There is this sad fact, cultural fact. Your boobs
mm, mm,
always be a source of attention. And there are guys who
mm,
are so misogynist that they would take that and make snide comments to you. And they don't hesitate to say that you can be there in that office, you claim you're going to be under me. I got a guy say that to me. He said, "Got home, you're going to be under me." And I was like, okay, fine. It's all right. But it's annoying. It's so annoying.
mm.
Okay, so how do we mental
Maintain that
stability? How
mental
do I keep
stability.
how do I keep my maintain my head? How do I maintain stamina? Okay. I'll give this
Mm,
caption. We're going to have to learn to walk from inside out,
mhm.
not in, as in
Okay.
lead yourself from inside out. Get to know your limitations
Mm,
yourself because
mm, mm. Wow.
yes, we can be
I
carried
like that.
away with work. Yes, and you forget your capacity. You understand.
Mm,
That okay,
mm,
this far is
mm,
part of learning
mm,
how to get mental stability is to know when the necessary must not be carried along. Stay with keep aside the necessary thing.
mm,
You won't die.
mm,
It's understand when
mm,
I'm a counselor.
mm,
I do a lot of counseling, and that takes heavy mental and emotional involvement. There are days when
mm,
myself, I said, I'll tell my counselor, I said, you know what, right now, I really to pay attention to you because where I am now, I'm already tired. I have some some reschedule so that I'll be able to sleep, rest, eat, distract myself for a walk, try to get centered, and balance. Now, when I come tomorrow, I'll be much more refreshed. But a woman of people, in order you don't want to let down someone, you don't want to let down this assignment so that they will look down on you. Mental stability has to do with setting your boundaries,
mm,
not feeling guilty about letting go certain
mm,
expectations. Don't work with people's expectations.
mm, mm,
Yes, I'm a woman. Time of the month when it's my menses, I have no apologies. I don't control my menstrual cycle, I control my menses. When is that period? When my skin days are unkind. Understand? I know fit handle. Yes, at that time PMS is on and all that. I'm a woman. Please don't blame me for being a woman. So I understand the moment. Study your cycle, study your sleep cycle, study your triggers. Triggers.
Mm.
If you
Mm.
know
Mm.
individuals will come around to annoy you, find a way to either block them if you want to block them at a distance.
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
keep them at a distance. Study your triggers. I had to study mine, and I was conscious when people study. Women. We are transparent. We tend to be transparent. Somebody can just need to come and peace roll at this side. So when I understand, okay, this person is coming towards my trigger, build my strategies on how to block it. We get. And women. I know being a minister in this man's world, in our world, stress. But please, we are not out to prove to anyone that we can do what a man. No, get that out of your
Mm.
head. You feel me?
Mm.
We to
Yeah.
prove to anyone that we can do. We are there to respond to our lives. Period. When we get that off
Mm.
our minds, free, free,
Mm.
and
I can,
really,
can stop the discussion now. Mm.
please, I value quiet time. I value prayer. I value it. It helps me to get center. That it helps me to regain my balance. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I had this my times when I realize I'm beginning to snap a retreat, I take a time out to have fun, to enjoy
Mm.
myself, to sleep, watch a
Mm.
movie. I have no apologies for choosing to enjoy something. I stopped being feeling guilty. Souls are perishing. Go, maybe me, I die for Jesus. Maybe for I get to support this body for do
So,
ministry.
so we
So
always perish.
let me leave that for us, please. I beg. So I, I'm gonna when I realize my energy level is low, or take a break, go out, check on one or few persons, and a support system. I have you, Debbie. I have you.
Mm.
When you down
Yes.
bad, I say,
On
sis,
flip,
God, more G's matter. I'm more G's matters day. When
matters are rising.
G's, so much for empowered, I go encouraged. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Yes, women. Listen, it's time for us to support each other and being a support system. The
Mm.
biggest puncture hole in us is women. Anybody and a woman is problem. Women deny that talk. I don't deny that talk. A woman is not my problem. We're gonna have a support system
A woman
when
is
it's
another
difficult.
woman. Another woman is a woman's enemy. A woman is her own enemy. A
Well,
woman or is a
no woman need neither one. I don't deny. Well, get a support system.
mm.
You can't do it all alone. You can't. You
Yeah.
you can't.
Mm. Mm.
I had workaholic tendencies. I tell you, I can carry
Mm.
that one is not boasting. I'll be firstborn. I'm at nature. But it broke me down. I know you're not supposed to function like that. So
Mm.
I learned to let go.
Mm.
I've raised leaders, raised others who can take over stuff.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Worried because now when you're overweight, when you're tired, you become unstable mentally. That feeling of being overwhelmed, it comes. And if you find yourself at that stage of being, stop,
Mm. Yeah, it's
stop,
true.
please just stop, put it
Mm.
down, but just stop. Whether you have a deadline or whether you have, just stop. Take
Mm.
excuses from the right quarters and just stop and go.
Mm. Take a
That
breather.
one day where you don't think of work, yes, just
Mm.
take that and just close up a little bit. Yes, it's going to help you balance.
Yeah.
You throw it off, you sleep, or if you're married, please have some time with your spouse. This is
House.
therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it releases those endorphins and serotonin. It's going to relax you.
Mm,
Have some time with your spouse. Okay, then you wake up the next refreshed, and you're going to think better.
mm,
So
mm,
that is
mm,
how you can
mm, mm, mm.
as well. Rather fight men, fight other women, fight. Choose your battles.
Yeah.
Your battle.
Mm, mm, mm.
More
Wow.
focusing on my goals than fighting. Than trying to
Mm.
prove to a point to everybody that I myself to
Okay.
everybody. As soon as they fight
Mm,
me, I the worker they go ahead. And
mm, mm.
my mind is at peace. So as soon as they fight. So we avoid this palaver fighting. We don't fight, okay? It's
Mm, mm.
minutes.
So another thing is, you talked about we you you talked about women taking time off. I think that is very important. Like women going out for retreats, they are
Yeah.
taking time. They go
Mhm.
for a retreat, go for a spa treatment. You meditate. For those who
Yeah.
do yoga. You can just go out for a fun trip. You
Sports.
can
Yeah.
even take, yes, a girls
Mhm.
outing. You can go out with your some of your daughters. I love what Mamata does. They used to have wives date or wives. There's something that wives go out
Oh,
and they have a retreat. Yes, Mamata does that. I love it so much. Wives will go out, talk. At least at that time, they definitely would have never been to any of the sessions, but I think they would have something they are doing together. They'll even be talking. Probably some of their
yeah.
issues that they are going through may even come to shore in such gatherings.
Mhm.
It makes women to, they would refuel. They would I really see that when they go for some of those wife boot camps, women boot camps and all that, they get re-energized, they get refueled, and they can refocus because their energy has been, like, they
Okay.
have been refueled to now come on to take, because I think that time
Yeah.
out is very, very, very important. Very, very important. And another thing that I think is very important is women can easily keep malice. They easily would store things
Mhm.
in their mind, and things that people do to them. If people offend them, they would want to keep that. But one of the things I'll say is they should deal with disappointment, offenses, and betrayal of others very quickly. They should forgive quickly so that
Yeah.
their mental state is not
There you
affected.
go.
There is a balance, because a lot of women would want to keep all those things. Okay, let me even say that you have a mentee, you have been pouring out into her life in the ministry or his life in the ministry, then he just ups one day and leaves you high and dry. I know such incidents can be devastating. And not only that, some of these mentees can even go out and start talking about the woman of God, talking about things that happened when they were with the woman of God, and those things can actually break the woman of God down. She will get frustrated, she'll get exhausted. It's like, this is I have somebody that I've poured myself into the person, I've given my all, I've done this, but look at what the person did to me. But I know some of those things can cause mental instability and stress if you don't handle it well. That is why, okay, okay.
Bone. Okay. We learn to separate hap- and what happened in the ministry. Okay. We need to draw the line. We need to draw the
Mm-hmm,
line, not to take stuff from home, take it home. We need to draw the
mm-hmm,
line. And to my young sisters who are still single, the moment a guy comes part somewhere, get ladies, especially if you call, it takes the grace your heart begins to pant for a guy for you to stay focused. You will need the prayer. Guy comes, it changes a lot, changes everything. Um, your mental stability do priority. you want to.
Mm.
The starting line and making your choices clear. When this guy
Mm.
comes in and we become flies in my belly, oh, be not some more, all of that, yeah, it takes, I won't, it takes away. We take mumu, heart begins to mean from you to get over your emotions. We are
Mm.
emotional, yeah, but we don't have to be emotional in our thinking. Consciousness of how emotional we can be is enough reason for us to know that once stuff comes in, receive sense, as my friend Deli Singer would say, receive sense.
Receive
So
sense.
that will help us. How many times have we ladies would communicate? We bore resentment, we are disappointed, and we left minutes what God called us to do. We left a lot of things because of that one single disappointment. God help. Yeah, it's not easy, but mental stability in that area, your heart. God guard your heart.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I like that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Wow. Amazing. And another thing I think helps for a woman to maintain balance is for a woman to have a mentor, would have a coach
Yeah.
or an accountability
Yeah.
partner. Very, very important
Yeah.
for your mental stability. Because there are women that don't have coaches, they don't have mentors, they don't have accountability partner. There's nobody that holds them accountable
Yes.
for certain issues. So I think it's okay for a woman in ministry to have an accountability partner. It would help a lot
Yeah.
because if a woman is going through stress, she can talk to her mentor, she can talk to her coach,
Yeah.
or she can talk to her accountability partner, or even her covenant sister. For those of us who are in ministry,
Yeah.
we talk about the support system. So this kind of ties with the support system because it's very important. I believe that nobody is an island, and when you have situations like this, or you have issues in ministry, you can also have people that you look up to in ministry that are seemingly doing what you are doing. So their
I
experience,
say, I say to every woman, I say to every woman that every Mary there is an Elizabeth. To every Naomi there is a Ruth.
there's a root, yeah.
To every Naomi there is a Ruth. To every Mary there's an Elizabeth. And that's the Reverend Pastor Shekina Batella. 15 years and counting. She's been my inspiration. And I am an Elizabeth, and they are their own Elizabeth or whatever. But there is this change. Okay. I think it's important. Ladies, there is one thing I know. We love our dad. High five to all our fathers. High five to all of them. Daddies, we love you. You be your girls, okay? But I believe we need our mummies. Women, it's important we get the mother figure in your life. Please, there's a daddy may not know how to address, but mommy can carry you in her womb. Mother can carry you, or a big sister can carry you. She can be your burden bearer. So I really, really want to emphasize on this, ladies, please. Not too many stories that touch because of closeness with our whoever. Scripture, younger women. It's scriptural. We get to find a sister, a mom, Elizabeth, or a Naomi. Get her, and she's going to show you what to do. She's
Yeah, that's a very important point. I think I like that part of I think I love that part of where you talked about getting because everything boils down to a support system. That's what it boils down to.
exactly,
Because if you have
exactly.
a good support system, it helps you to maintain balance because If you
Values.
have a
Yeah.
woman of God that has been in ministry for say 30 years, and she'll be
Yeah.
able to tell you her experience, how she was able to manage and
Yeah.
balance, because at the end of the day we're talking about balance. A woman is
Mhm.
able to balance. It's the order
Yeah.
is God, family, and church, not the other way around.
Yeah.
It is not God,
Exactly.
church, family. It is God,
Mhm.
family, and church. She should be able to
Yeah.
strike balance in her walk with God and in her life
Exactly.
ministerially, so that we know that this is how it is. Because all the battles that she's going to fight sometimes in ministry, she may never get into a physical battle, but everything is going to be
Yeah.
emotional, it's going to be mental. And I keep
Yeah.
saying it, and I believe it so affects women's productivity is their mental state. If you are not mentally sound, your
It does.
productivity will not be optimal. I don't know if you agree with that.
I totally, I totally agree with you. Totally. I've been through that. For a task-oriented person that I am, think that emotional break max all my skills. I like my performance, my jobs drastic. Couldn't meet my job. Honestly, when it's not sound up here for most of us ladies, it does. So we need to work on snapping out of that.
Yeah, and because that to me is very important, because yes, women go through different kinds of phases and stuff, but it would also, I think, would benefit women a lot to be able to study emotional intelligence. Is very important. A
True.
woman has, as a
True.
woman in ministry, a general overseer, a pastor's wife, a singer, somebody, an usher, you have to be able to understand what emotional intelligence is, because it's very important. I think I spoke about it in my last live, but I think we'll really have a time where we'll talk about in depth the importance of emotional
Yeah.
intelligence as a woman, so that as you're going through
Yeah.
doing ministry and doing other things, you are able to navigate effectively, because you are emotionally intelligent. You know how to
Yeah.
handle your emotions effectively, so that people don't look at you and think that you are just this crybaby, always throwing tantrums,
Mhm.
always throwing tantrums at the slightest thing or the slightest incident. So we have to build ourselves
Yeah.
emotionally to be strong inside. You understand? That's why the
Yeah.
Bible says you will be strengthened by his spirit in
With
your
power,
inner man,
through the
because
spirit.
it is your inner man that has to be strengthened, your inner man,
Yeah.
so that when it is strengthened, it can
Exactly.
control how your outward operates, how you come out outwardly,
Definitely.
how you present yourself outwardly to the people that are even under you, and the people that are following you, and the people that you are mentoring, and the
Yeah.
people that you are coaching. You shouldn't be that woman of God that when people are around you, they walk on eggshells. They don't know what to
No.
say when they're around you. The one that will
Your
offend you,
fragrance. Yeah.
the one that they will
We are a
say that
sweet
will tick
fragrance. We're
you off.
supposed to be a sweet fragrance.
Yes, there should not be this
Yeah.
toxicity around you, or this negativity
Positivity
around
around you. There
you.
should be
Yes,
sweet fragrance. Come
yes,
on.
this sweet
Sweet.
fragrance.
Sweetness should just be around you.
When people come around you, they want to be around you. They want to stay around you. They don't want you
Yeah.
don't want to be that person where when people come around you, they're always looking for some place to hide, to dodge. Because you have this
Your
aura
presence
around you.
your presence
That
will
is
bring some peace. I
Mhm.
mean, sure, you can carry this sweet fragrance in, when you just becomes alive. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
To
true.
be mommy G or maybe just to get title or to be
Wow. My best just went. So thank you so much. I'm having a lot of feedback. If you're a woman of God watching out there, I pray you've learned something. Yeah, the Roses Network. People were complaining about Roses Network. Yes, the network was having issues. I'm even happy that she even managed to come live because some of the times the some of the times the network is really bad. So we are rounding up our session.
cut me off. Let's
Okay, so we are rounding up our session. Thank you so much, woman of God, for joining me. Thank you so much. I had a very fruitful discussion.
so
I learned a lot of things as a woman in ministry, what I should be able to do to maintain balance as a woman of God, because there are
very
times where you really don't know where sometimes you really don't know what you are supposed to do at a particular time, how you're supposed to behave. But I think that based on the discussion we have had, and I believe that I've learned a lot, and I also believe that you have learned a lot. And from from next month, we are going to be talking about abuse in all forms. So I want you to get ready. September is a power packed month for us. We're going to be talking about abuse. And also, I'm sure on Sunday, we'll be talking about life balance. But I'll see what I would let us know what we'll be doing on Sunday. It's also going to be a very, very special time on Sunday. And I'm very, very happy you could join. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Rose, for joining me. Thank you. You made some very salient points. And I'm very, very happy that you could come up on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is the Fixer Show. My name is Deborah Dodoche, aka The Fixer. Until I come your way in the next episode, see you. If you're not following us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, The Fixer Show. If you're not following us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube platform, The Fixer Show. Definitely, we are going to make a bit of changes because I have received a complaint. A couple of people have complained to me that they have not been, when they search The Fixer Show, they get something else. So probably we are going to tweak the name a little. I'll probably do Debbie's Fixer Show or something to that light, so that when people look for us on Facebook, they can see us, because there is another group called the Fixers, but they are into something else. They do construction or something like that. So I have a lot of people wanting to join, searching us on Facebook. They are not doing that. So probably we are going to work on the name. So if you are searching, at least you can get us on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. God bless you until I see you in the next episode.